Okay, we're going to start off this lesson with factoring some quadratic equations. We begin with question 1a. So I'm trying to solve for the roots. I'm going to do this first by factoring my expression. My expression here is a simple trinomial, so I'm looking for two numbers that add to give me the middle term, which is -2, and they multiply to give me -48. Those two numbers are -8 and +6. You'll notice that they both work. That works, that works. And I'm just going to write my final answer immediately as x minus 8 and x plus 6. What does that mean for my roots? Well, the first root will be what makes x minus 8 0, which is 8. So my first root is going to be 8. And for my second root, I look at what makes x plus 6 equal to 0. And in that case, it's going to be -6. So I can either write them as individual numbers, or if I want, I can write them as an ordered pair. So 8, 0 and -6, 0. Either way is acceptable. It's up to you what you're more comfortable with writing. For my next one, for B, I have a complex trinomial, and I'm looking to, again, factor this. So I have to find two numbers, and I'll do this off to the side. Two numbers that add to give me the middle term, which is 9, and that multiply to give me the product of -5 and 2, which is going to be -10. So those two numbers are 10 and -1. Okay, you'll notice that that works for the first and for the second, so I'm good. So I can now decompose my expression here. What do I get? Well, the 9x breaks down into 10x minus 1x, or just x. And the other two terms on the ends remain the same. So I have the -5 there, and I have the positive 2x squared in front. I should probably have that all equal. So my first pair, I have a common factor of 2x. Divide that out, and I'm left with just x plus 5. For my second pair, I divide out a -1, and I'm left with x plus 5 again. Group them together, I get x plus 5 and 2x minus 1. Therefore, my roots, well, again, look at what makes the first term 0. In this case, it's -5. And in the second case, it is 1/2. Okay. Moving on. For C, I'm looking for my roots again. So what values of this will make it equal to 0? Now, this is not a trinomial. It's just a difference of two terms, and I'm going to look for a common factor. So in this case, I'm looking at, say, 4x, because 4 divides both terms, the 4 into the 20, and they both have an x. If I divide each of them by 4x, I'm left with x minus 5. So in this case, my roots are going to be, well, this means my first root is going to be x equals 0. And in this case, my root's going to be x equals 5. And there are my roots. So I'm going to write that as an ordered pair. I have 0, 0, and 5, 0. And those are your two roots for C. We got two more left. Okay. Next one is a difference of squares. You'll notice that 4x squared and -121 are perfect squares. And I'm left with 2x minus 11 and 2x plus 11. If you look at what makes 2x minus 11 equal to 0, just solve for it. I get 2x equals 11, divide by 2, divide by 2. And that means x equals 11/2. Same thing with plus 11, only difference is going to be I'm going to have a negative. So I'll just write everything together. My roots plus or minus 11 over 2, or 5.5 if you want. For my last one, for e, again a simple trinomial. What does this look like? So two numbers, they add to give me negative 8, and they multiply to give me 16. Well, I'm going to tell you right away, they're going to be negative 4 and negative 4. So what does that mean for my roots? Well, in this case, the roots are identical. My roots are going to be 4 and 4. But do I have to write that twice? Absolutely not. 1 4 is enough. In fact, I could have written my last expression as x minus 4 squared. What does this mean? Well, x squared minus 8x plus 16 is a parabola, and it opens up. So if my vertex is, my root is 4, that means over here at 4, my parabola is going to come down, go up. I have one root. Okay, it's not the best drawing, but you get the idea. Okay, the very bottommost point is at 4. And that's the only time it touches the x-axis. So at this point, if you want, you can fill in the values for number 2. Just, pretty much reiterate what we did in A through E, and just fill in this chart, okay, for each of the roots. Next, we're going to look at the quadratic formula.